In this video, I'm going to show how I'm beginning to make use of Claude Code / commands to streamline my workflow because it's time.
The other way that people customize Claude Code is by adding custom / commands. So if there's a prompt that you're always typing, you can add that into the custom / commands, and you can also check these in so that.
Okay, so I don't know why I'm resisting doing that work, because if you're like me, you may have a bunch of prompts that you paste in over time, or prompts that you have to think about and it just slows you down. And yeah, that's what I'm finally taking on right now. This is My Local Press. It's a news application that builds content from traditional news stories to podcasts to streaming based on the contributor's location. Users then consume the content within their radius or selected locations. So we have the good morning, where were we prompt. Let's go and get some context. Planning prompt, fingers crossed. Let's deploy. Does it work? Let's test it. And then the whole get version control, ship it, we're done. Okay. So it's come back and said, all right, here's what we know about the iOS front end using Swift, location-based application and feed, authentication, backend infrastructure using the AWS CDK. But what we did was we started a new Claude Code session and just tried to point it more or less to just the context we want it to understand. And we did it based on that prompt. And that prompt that I have to type in all the time, let's go get context, is based on a prompt that I would copy and paste in all the time. So this is just helping me get rid of, hey, take a look at the front and back end, trying to distinguish between iOS, web, Android, make sure you're familiar with the Claude MD. So it's just, rather than copying and pasting, that's what this replaces. Now, I know we want to work on the events, because we have everything else working. We have the classifieds working, we have the resources working. So some of this work has been done. So it looks like we just need to go through and test if the event test is working and how far it can get. There is a back-end deployment that needs to occur. We have the work we've already done for classified and resources is already plugged in or hooked up on the back end, but we don't have it completely hooked up for events. So Claude made some changes and we need to run our deployment prompt and have it help us go through those steps. So this deployment prompt basically is allowing me to check different scenarios where if we make a change to the AWS backend, it's going to trigger some steps here of local builds we have to do before we can deploy that code. If it's just an iOS change, then it's not going to go through those steps. If it's a web change, then it will have to go through a series of steps to do a local build of the files that AWS needs. This is one of the more complex prompts that I've had to key in manually. So there was a lot of work that went into just divvying up those scenarios. And it seems to be working pretty well. This may not be the ideal case for this type of / command. This may change to where I'm making use of more of the traditional CI/CD pipeline that is still relatively new to me, and I couldn't get it working earlier, so I just abandoned it for a while since I sort of was used to at least using the command line interface for deploying to AWS. So now it's just done all of the things that it can do to check types and infrastructure being built locally, and then I have it tell me what I can run in other terminals. So we're going to do that. The backend deployment was successful, and let's log in and see what happens. All right, so we got our classifieds, and do we have our events? Yes, we have our events. So that took longer than I wanted, but it works. Let's see. I don't know what these look like. Okay, so it's basic. It's sort of defaulting to our simple template that we have for all content object detail. So sort of defaulting to that, which is fine. We'll then go in and clean all these up. Do we have our list view? Cool. So we have a basic grid view and list view. And with that, I'm going to call it done. So if we're done, I want to run this final ship it command, right? Because what it does is it's checking where we are. It's going to go through the steps to make sure that we push the branch that would be this feature branch, that we create the PR successfully, and that it allows me an opportunity to review the PR, looking at all those files. And then once I say let's go ahead and merge, then it'll go ahead and complete the process where we go through this correct get version control steps. That's what I want. So let's see what you do. Ship it. So here's the PR that just got created. This is what I love about this process, is that I can just quickly review the files. It looks like everything is correct. No crazy files being made. We have the views we expect to be made that are new for the events. We have the feed view that got updated, our main feed view. We have that lists lambda function or functions that we updated. We were working on that test at the beginning to create an event through the simulator, and then these are just files that are for the presentation. So I'm going to say all good. Let's merge. Closed. Did it get closed? This was merged, so we should be back down to the 2 PRs, and then 350 is gone, so that got closed as well. And final thing I like to do for sanity check, we're back on the dev branch. So that's it. That's how easy it is to use slash commands. I'll get better at these videos, I hope. I haven't made videos in a long time, and this has been a grind. Back to the summary wrap-up that I recorded earlier. Okay, so that was my workflow, just making use of some of these slash commands that I have tried to force myself to go ahead and implement. If you enjoyed this video, please click like and subscribe to help more people find it. And if you or someone you know works in small town news, please feel free to share this video. We'd love to be in touch with them and see how we can support them in their work as we work to make our product better and better for them. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.